invented all this paperwork?
More to the point, who would want to do it, especially on their day off?
Ah, well, actually, this isn't work. These papers are for me. They're the consent forms for my procedure tomorrow.
Ah.
Hey, have you heard anything more about Lucy?
Yes, actually, I spoke to Victor.
And?
Strangest thing, Scott found a photo of his own mother in David Bordisso's apartment.
Why would DV have a picture of Scott's mom?
I'm sure Scott would like to know the same thing.
Well, if you want to go to New York, you are more than welcome to go.
I want to stay here for your surgery.
Minor surgery. Minor being the operative word. No pun intended. Get it?
I'm not leaving.
You know, I could get used to all this TLC.
There's just no escaping it, is there?
Who said anything about escaping?
Hello?
Kevin, I'm so glad I found you.
Julie? Is something wrong?
I need to discuss my case with you.
Actually, I have a commitment for all day tomorrow. We could set up a meeting for a couple of days from now.
I need to see you right away. Could you possibly come tonight, please?
No, listen, go on. Go on. I'll get a bite to eat at the recovery room, and I'll meet you later. It's okay.
Julie, I'll see you tonight.
So what's wrong with her?
I have no idea, but then you can never really tell with Julie.
Yeah, I know.
You're bad. Stop it.
I know.
I'll see you later.
Hey, why the long face?
I just feel like my world is about to explode.
What happened?
I don't think I should say anything. But if I don't talk to someone, I think I'm gonna go crazy.
Come on, spill. I can keep it to myself.
Joe was arrested for soliciting a prostitute.
I was hoping he would tell you.
You knew?
Yeah, I bailed him out. It's good he told you. It's the first step in addressing the problem, and nobody knows that better than you and me.
You believe that Joe picked up a hooker?
What do you believe, Karen?
Joe says that he's being set up. I still think that's a possibility.
By who?
Courtney.
Now, I've asked myself if Courtney could have set Joe up. But, Karen, how could she possibly get him to solicit a prostitute?
Well, Joe says that it was a mix-up, that this woman gave him some sad story and asked to borrow some money.
Right.
I know, Frank. I know it seems unlikely, but come on. The idea of Joe going behind my back and see.
It's unthinkable. You know, he'd have to be pretty out of control, especially considering how dangerous it is to fool around these days with AIDS and STDs out there.
No, how could I have not seen that before? Come on. When Joe and I are together, he makes me feel like I'm the only woman on this planet. I know he loves me.
Loving you is not the issue. Joe is powerless. He's not trying to hurt you, Karen. Now, I wish it was as simple as just saying that Courtney set him up. Joe's problem is much more serious.
Do you think Joe is this guy that leads a secret life? I've seen men like that. Joe is not like that.
Do you think these wives know what their husbands are up to? Some do, but I'm sure most don't. And I bet a big part of that is because they don't let themselves know.
I'm not in denial, Frank.
Karen.
I am not.
Karen, I think you are. And if that sounds tough, it's because you taught me to be that way. You were right to be tough with me when I was kicking my habit. Now it's time to be tough with Joe.
Hungry?
Depends.
On what?
Well, if that's your way of asking me out to dinner,
What if it is?
well, then I'm starving.
Good.
Why didn't you just come right out and ask me?
I wasn't sure you'd say yes.
Well, look, don't take this the wrong way, but it occurs to me that if we'd been more direct with each other all along, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
I'll work on it.
Me too.
Lucky me. Kevin's loss is my gain.
Oh, no, I'm the lucky one. How many people get to have dinner with their surgeons right before they're about to cut them open? In fact, about 16 hours from there.
Come on, don't make it sound so gruesome. It's just a tiny little slit. Hey, I could do your laparoscopy with my eyes closed. In fact, I bet if I ask really nice, Dr. Newman will let me give it a shot.
Yeah, you're funny.
Hey, Frank, careful with those plates. You know, if you drop them, it comes out of your pay.
Yeah, well, if they landed on your head, it'd be worth it.
Good one. You are lightning quick. Hey, you know what? I'm glad Kevin went to see Julie. She can use his help.
What she could really use is a frontal lobotomy.
Admit it, she's getting better.
Well, our visit was, freaky, to say the least.
Yeah, but didn't she seem more stable? A little more in touch with reality?
Yeah, except for the part where she was pretending to be pregnant by wearing a pillow.
Come on, the pillow is just a security blanket. She'll give that up eventually. Maybe sooner rather than later. I think my visits have made a real difference. I do.
Do you really expect her to get out someday?
It could happen.
Yeah, well, if it happens, I'm getting myself a Doberman pinscher.
Tell me, how did she respond when you told her that, you know, I was the one that sent you?
She was thrilled that you care. In fact, she's gonna try and get your visiting privileges restored. Maybe that's why she called Kevin.
Could you give me some specifics as to why you feel you're progressing?
It's obvious to me now why I was such an easy mark for Greg Cooper. I had a pretty wretched childhood. That kind of hit rock bottom with my brother's suicide. My need for family was so overpowering that Greg could exploit it and get me to do anything for him.
And now you don't feel as needy?
No, I know who I am. And I understand why this happened to me. I'm not crazy, Kevin. I don't belong in this institution for the rest of my life.
Remember the last time I was here? You said that you wanted to get out because you were afraid they would take away your baby. Now it seems you have a motivation beyond keeping your baby.
When I first got to Ferncliff, I couldn't imagine ever getting out. Then when I discovered I was pregnant, I started feeling more optimistic about the future.
So now you want to get out for both you and your baby?
I want to get out for me. There's something you should know.
What's that?
There is no baby.
Why would you fake a pregnancy?
Have you ever been so depressed with your life that you pretended to be something you weren't?
I understand the feeling. Sit down.
Pretending to be pregnant gave me relief from my loneliness. It felt good to imagine that there was always someone there with me.
But you are aware that you're not pregnant.
I've always known that. In my mind, I think I was trying to create this perfect life for an imaginary child. Probably because my own childhood was so miserable.
Julie, are you ready to stop pretending?
I don't know. It's comforting to me. How about this? I'll admit I'm not pregnant, but I won't give up the pillow. I don't know if I'm ready to jump off that diving board just yet.
Admitting the pregnancy is a fantasy is progress.
Most people don't realize how much I've progressed.
Like who?
Lee, for one. He still believes I'm impressionable. For instance, he doesn't want me to see Chris Ramsey because he thinks he's a bad influence. But it's just the opposite. Chris has given me a lot of emotional support. But Lee, as my guardian, has asked the hospital to restrict Chris's visits.
And you don't like that?
No. I want to see Chris. He's my friend. Could you speak to Lee? It would mean so much to me.
So nice to see Matt and Ellen together again. Maybe they'll be able to work things out after all.
You're obviously mistaking me for someone who cares.
Oh, come on. You're willing to cut Julie some slack, but you're still holding a grudge against Matt and Ellen because of that stupid Quartermain thing?
What can I say? I hate hypocrisy.
Since when?
Since always. At least Julie can admit who she is and what she's done. Those two are self-righteous pains in the butt who look down their noses at me because I make things happen. As if their record was so spotless.
Gee, tell me how you really feel.
Look, what can I say? I'm not the charitable sort.
Which is exactly why I don't understand why you even give a flip about Julie.
I've liked Julie from the beginning. You know that.
And I know you liked her even better once you found out her father was Bennett Devlin. That's the only reason you were so into her in the first place.
Well, if that's what you think, then you're wrong. Now, I know being wrong is hard for you to concede, but try hard. Thanks.
Look, it's one thing to think a person like Julie deserves help. It's another to be the one who wants to give it to her. Why you?
Well, did you ask Kevin the same question?
Kevin's a psychiatrist. It's his life work to put Humpty Dumptys like Julie back together again. You, on the other hand, and I mean this with the sincerest form of affection, you have made it your life's work to get as much as you can, as fast as you can.
Just because I look out for myself doesn't mean I can't care about a nice person. I mean, let's just say I have a soft spot for people who have been forced into bad choices and now looking for their way back.
Am I supposed to do anything with you?
You know what? You win. I give up.
No.
Believe whatever you want.
I know you, Chris, and I know there's more to this Julie thing.
What's my dastardly plan?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
You haven't figured it out yet because there's nothing to figure out.
Okay, fine. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. But just remember who Julie is and what she is capable of, okay?
Oh, touched you care.
Yeah, you're touched all right. In the head. Just do me a favor and watch your back, okay?
You know, you keep up all this concern, and I'm gonna start thinking you have a thing for me.
I don't know why I'm so worried. I really don't. Because as deranged as you are, Julie would never hurt you. You're obviously her soulmate.
Well, this is a good idea.
I'm beginning to wonder.
Why?
Well, it stinks sitting here with someone you love and missing him at the same time.
I don't know if getting back to where we were before, Sebastian, is possible.
I just want my best friend back.
Me too.
I've been thinking about something my mother said.
What's that?
She thinks I'm using my friendship with Sebastian as a way to work out some unresolved feelings about Sam. How he died so suddenly, I never had a chance to say goodbye.
Yeah, there is a ring of truth to it.
Matt, I appreciate your efforts in trying to keep an open mind about all this.
Well, you should.
No matter how hard I try, I can't make myself believe I was so wrong about Joe.
I had hoped that Joe had escaped the Scanlon family legacy.
What legacy? And I knew your dad was an alcoholic, but is there something else?
Our family is riddled with addiction. Gambling, alcohol, drugs.
Really? I had no idea.
No, it's my fault that this happened to Joe.
Well, how can it be your fault?
Because I've always looked out for him. I should have seen this coming and prevented it.
Frank, no matter how much you love somebody, you can't change them if they don't want to change.
The toughest part of this for me is to stand back. Everything keeps telling me I should grab Joe and shake some sense into him. I just hope that the getting busted has some kind of a warning effect and he gets the help that he needs.
Come here often.
Hi. Only when I'm looking to pick up on a good-looking psychotic. How'd it go with Julie?
She seems more grounded, but the jury's still out on whether or not she's improving.
Kevin, good timing. Just paid the bill.
Yeah, with money I gave him.
Details. How was Julie?
Fine.
Yeah, it's a shame I'm not allowed to visit her anymore.
Well, I'm sure Lee and her doctors feel it's best to limit her visitors for the time being.
But how can isolating her help? It seemed friends was good for Julie. Maybe you could talk to Lee, get me back in? You know, for Julie's benefit?
Well, it's a critical time in her therapy. I think it's best that I defer to the doctors who treat her full-time.
Well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree, huh? Listen, don't keep this one out too late. She's got a date with me tomorrow.
Whatever you say, Doctor.
Good night, you two.
Thanks for keeping me company.
Good night. So what do you make of this new friendship between Chris and Julie?
Well, it's not new. Chris had a thing for Julie way back when we were interns, but honestly, I think it's pretty creepy.
You don't think Chris has a thing? Carrying a torch for Julie?
Who knows? You know, Chris doesn't have many friends. He's probably just scraping the bottom of the barrel. Because, you know, after all, Julie is a captive audience.
I've never seen Chris as being that forgiving.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what to think about that, but I do know Chris pretty well. I'm his best friend. And even I don't know what he's thinking half the time.
Only half the time?
Do you really think that Julie could get out?
It's possible. She seems convincing. She's also very smart. She fooled us all when she was the general homicide killer. She could be fooling us about her recovery right now.
So am I being direct enough if I ask if maybe we can do this again sometime soon?
Well, you name the time and the place, and I'll be there. I'm really glad you asked me.
I'm glad too.
I'm gonna check on a patient. So, I'll see you later.
Bye.
There you are.
Oh, Sebastian.
Yeah, I was just here to pick up some paperwork from my insurance company. How about a bite to eat?
I just had dinner with Matt.
Oh, so how'd it go?
It went fine.
I guess I should say I'm happy for you.
Only if you mean it.
Well, I didn't like the way that Matt's anger was hurting you. So, I mean it.
Thank you.
What's ever going on with us, I understand that you care for him.
I do. But Sebastian,
Hey, you don't have to say anything. I know you care about me, too. I can tell the way we made love.
I've been sitting here, waiting for you, trying not to get angry that you walked away from me.
Sorry, Joe. I just had to be by myself. It's not every day that your fiancé gets arrested for solicitation.
I was loaning the woman money, Karen. I wasn't paying her to have sex.
Right. Well, you know, it's getting harder and harder to always chalk it all up to Joe's just being set up.
I understand that this is hard. I mean, if I thought that you were cheating on me, it would kill me. But if you told me that you weren't, I would believe you. I mean, your word would be good enough for me.
Well, maybe your word should be good enough for me, but it isn't.
So what do you want me to do? Wear a tracking device?
I'm not saying I believe you did all those things. I'm just saying I'm not sure.
You either believe me or you don't.
It's not as simple as that, Joe. Now, I know that you're not deliberately trying to betray me. I know that something is very wrong here.
Yeah, but not with me. My sexual behavior is not the problem here.
I don't know what to believe anymore. But I think that while we're sorting all of this out, we shouldn't live together.
So you want me to move out?
I think that would be best.
Well, if you honestly believe that I did all those things, then you're absolutely right. I shouldn't be here.
Tomorrow on Good Morning America, among the missing in Oklahoma, the search continues for tornado survivors, plus ways to enhance your memory. And Chef Emeril Lagasse goes home to mother. That's tomorrow on Good Morning America.